We did a lot of work in the last quarter with the BEA. The BEA is the equivalent of the Transportation Safety Board in the U.S. They're based in France, and they're investigating the incidents of Air France. We've done work with them to try and define the parameters that should be used to start streaming from an aircraft. And with our work with the Optimi group, which the slide will be up in a minute, we expect that we will be able to show that we can start streaming at the command on anything that they want it. We also stabilized and grew our customer base. Our customers continue to report that they're happy using our system and saving money doing it. We also met the objectives of our new sales group, and we have signed some new sales, and marketing continues to grow. We got preliminary approval this quarter on SAIDI, so we've got approval for $1+ million of cash from the Canadian government to help us finish the 228 program. The audits on those are expected to happen in August. The other thing that everybody's asked about is AirCap. AirCap continues to move forward. We did have a kickoff meeting with AirCap in June, and the progress is slow. As everybody knows, Europe takes July and August off, but it is progressing. We do have lots of activity going on. There's no problems with the program. Contracts are taking longer because there's more players involved, but we are making progress on getting the AirCap agreements finalized and moving forward with that agreement. The GAAP revenue for the Q2 was down a little bit from Q2 of last year, but certainly a strong quarter and a good quarter from our point of view, with the economy being as bad as it was. One of the things that we did while we were in China is we demonstrated our flight stream capabilities. The Chinese government was very excited about the ability to track their aircraft at this level. They've not had an accident since 2004, and the ability to see an aircraft in flight was demonstrated to the CAAC and their body in charge of flight safety. We also demonstrated it to 4 airlines. They were very excited about not only being able to track their aircraft, but to see their aircraft while it's in flight and see what's going on with that aircraft. The other thing that we did is we did the presentations to the CESAR group, the CEDAR consortium, and they are looking at doing flight tests this fall over the Atlantic with our technologies. A very active group in trying to improve data communication, transoceanic data communication with transoceanic communication and tracking aircraft. Our plans for Q3 are to continue to work on our OEMs with our partners, get this equipment installed in the factory so our customers get immediate use of it, get the 228 ready for delivery, which again is expected this year. We're going to increase our deliveries to China and around the world. We just came back from a trip to China. We spent 2 weeks there, presented to 5 aircraft, 5 airlines, and in the last quarter we shipped to 2 airlines in the last 60 days. We expect 2 more airlines to take shipments in the next 60 days, and we believe, we're cautiously optimistic, that we will be delivering product to China this year and going forward at an ever-increasing rate. The plan is to do a slow adoption by the airlines so that they learn how to use this data, learn how to do the installations, but the final barrier was relieved earlier this year. The Iridium approval for commercial aviation was granted to our partner in China, and we will be using that to roll out our customers in China over the foreseeable future. So we're quite excited about that. And the last part is that we see growth coming from both Africa and South America, and we believe that that will be an important part of what happens with AMS over the coming quarters. Statistics on the number of shares outstanding, our working capital at the end of the quarter. We have invested a lot of money in the 228 this year, as we said we would. The 228 is coming together as we'd hoped, and we think that we are on track for what we promised our customers or our investors last fall, and we're working hard to get the new product on the street as quickly as possible. So we'll now take questions. We've got both the phone lines and the email address open for any questions you might have. Okay, so our first question comes from Bruce McLeod in British Columbia. When are we going to see some appreciation in value of the shares which have been stagnant for years? Your continued dilution in favor of officers and the board is not helping this. Well, I guess all of us own shares, and we're as frustrated as everyone else at the price. The economy certainly hasn't helped, and the inability to sell product during the recession hasn't been a help. As far as dilution in favor of officers and directors, I think that that's inaccurate. We do offer options which our directors and officers have to pay for at the same price that shareholders could pay for those shares at any time. And it's part of the compensation. Our directors don't get paid. Our officers are not paid what a market rate would be. They could make more money if they went to work for a large corporation. And we believe that it aligns our shareholders' value with our officers and directors' values in getting the share price up. So we don't take, I don't believe, a large proportion of the options or each year or the number of shares, but we do try and use it to incent our directors and officers to work on behalf of our shareholders. It's common practice, standard practice for small cap companies to do that, and we believe we've been very conservative in the number and price of options that we've granted over the years. What is the status of the partnership with Guest Logic with respect to revenue? We've been working with Guest Logic on 2 opportunities in China. We actually visited one of the customers while we were in China about installing our products along with the Guest Logic's products, and we believe that there's opportunity for that this year in China. Today, the carriers that are using Guest Logic's products in North America and Europe don't see the need for real-time credit card validation, but as they continue to expand the services they offer on board, we believe they will. We're working with Guest Logic. We will be attending their show in September in Toronto, and we're working with them to make sure that we can provide top quality service when we find a customer that wants to do this. How is revenue ramping up compared to our own internal projections? We're slightly behind our internal projections, but not a lot, about 15%. We believe we'll catch that up before the end of the year. There are a lot of opportunities that have been worked over the last 6 months, and while they've been slow to close, they are moving forward. So we believe we'll catch that up in the next few months.
No more questions.
I guess that's the end of our questions. So I'd like to thank everybody for the time in listening to our webcast. It will be posted on our website by the end of today. And as always, if there's more questions, we always answer our email or our phones, so please feel free to get in touch with us.